Hey guys, trying to knock out a bunch of videos here all at once, so hopefully you'll excuse the background noise and the mess around here. So this is an ultrasonic cleaner. I bought this, geez, probably 6-8 months ago. I wanted to try it out. I've always wanted one, you know, for a lot of the variety of different things I do. And I got it. I was really excited. I was going to make a video like a week after I got it, but I was like, Alright, so these things come in all different shapes, sizes, types. Some are for like dental equipment. Some are made for firearms. I think Hornady makes one. For eyeglasses, all different kinds. I bought just this Vivor, which is like a generic, you know, name, and wanted to try it out because I do a variety of different things that I thought would be helpful. Number one, these are actually really good for cleaning guns. They're very good. They do a great job on oil and grease that isn't dried up and caked. So that actually worked out pretty good. How this works is you have your little chamber here and there's a little basket inside. You fill this up with water. You heat it up. You add some kind of ultrasonic cleaning fluid, and this uses bubbles to basically cleaning bubbles. No, ultrasonic bubbles that clean items. And you're going to see some footage tossed in of me using this thing on an old ratchet. Now, I've used this on gun parts, old tools. I've even thrown things like silverware in there with pretty mixed results, guys. I gotta say, to be honest. I spent in the neighborhood of like $80 on this thing, and I really kind of feel like I'm not getting $80 worth of fun out of it. Yes, it's very handy. It's a very interesting thing, and it's cool to play with. And it really makes firearm cleaning a lot of breeze, especially handguns. But in the end, like, it just didn't do as much as I wanted it to do. And part of that you'll see when this video comes up of me cleaning the ratchet is it really doesn't get things that are gunked on and dried. So if you put old tools or things like that in there, it really only does a mediocre job. And in the end, you're still going to have to hand clean things anyway after you're done and wipe them down. So it kind of defeats the purpose. Because especially seeing this is a lot of setup. Now this model here has a heater and a timer, and it goes up to like 20 minutes. Now the problem is if you put in room temperature tap water, it takes like an hour to get it heated up to cleaning temperature, which is like 60 degrees Celsius. Which kind of stinks because you have to set this up and then wait an hour to even use it. And then when you put in your cleaning solution, which I use something like green, you know, mean green or something like that, you have to degas it for 10 minutes, which is run it for 10 minutes to get the gas out because the gas can affect the ultrasonic cleaning. So what you're talking about is like an hour to an hour and a half just to get this thing set up to use, which is a huge disappointment. Now you can get around that by boiling some water and throwing some hot water already in here. That will work as well. You can definitely do that and it'll speed up the process. But once again, this isn't just something you can plug in and use. So I tend to use it in big batches. I set it up for one day and use it for like a million different things. Like I said, very mixed results. It does very good on things that are greasy and grimy. For example, firearms. You get done a day at the range, everything's oily, greasy, dirty. It does a great job of knocking off gunpowder residue and things like that that aren't stuck. But on the vice versa, old tools, things like that that are really grimy, not so good. It really doesn't penetrate that stuff very well. You probably have to pre-clean it and maybe spray it with some brake cleaner or something like that to break it up a little bit before you do it, and that might help. But I really didn't want to introduce chemicals in here because occasionally silverware and stuff like that goes in, so I don't want to do that. Now, if I were just using this for tools, yeah, I would clean them with brake cleaner first, then put them in, but not happening. Other stuff, you know, it does a good job, like with glasses and stuff, getting the gunk off the nose pieces. Jewelry seems to do okay as well, but it doesn't do really like hard gunked on stuff. It's only like, for example, like rust. When you put something in there that's got a really flaky rust that's kind of flaking off when you touch it, yes, it does a great job of that. But regular surface rust on a tool, it really doesn't touch it that much. I know there's some ultrasonic cleaning stuff that's meant for rust, but I don't want to spend $20 more on something that I'm going to have kind of a lackluster result with. So yeah, so I mean, this thing's not bad, guys. Like I said, I think it's worth its money just in the ability to clean handguns. I mean, being able to put the barrel and all that stuff in there as kind of a pre-cleaner is very handy because you can just kind of put everything in. There's a basket and everything goes in there and you can just run it and forget about it, come back, wipe everything down, dry it off, lube it, and you're back. It does a great job with that. But would I use it on a gun that's been sitting around for 5 years and really needs a deep cleaning? No, it's just not going to do it. So, but I know a lot of people use these for for handguns, and they are pretty. I gotta say, they're pretty handy when you got a really oily, greasy, nasty barrel that just needs to be cleaned. You know, and it's great because you can throw it in, come back 10 minutes later while you're doing something else, and then finish up your project. So overall, guys, you know, like I said, I like it. I spent $80 on it, but I'm not getting $80 worth of fun out of it, unfortunately. Great product, great little thing, lots of stuff you can do with it. You know, it's got this nice little drain hole, so you can just throw it over the sink and drain it when you're done, or a slop sink or a toilet or whatever, or even outside. So that way you don't have to tip it. You know, because you got hot water, you know, not having to tip it and worry about water getting down into the electronics or anything goofy like that. So, yeah, I've been holding off. Like I said, I've been holding off a long time on this video because I've just been unsure, you know, because it has been really mixed results. I really wanted it to work better with the old tools, and it did. You know, and even, like I said, anything you put in here, guys, it's not going to be completely 100% clean. Unless it's like fall off stuff. But in the end, guys, the amount of setup for this, an hour to set this thing up. You know, in the end, you could clean the handgun quicker than that. You can whip through a handgun in like 10 minutes. You know, it's really not, and anything that you can't get off by hand, this thing is not going to be able to get off anyway. It really only does that kind of loose surface stuff. And I don't know, it just seems like it's quicker and easier to clean by hand. Now, if I'm doing 5-10 handguns, yeah, it makes sense to throw all the parts in here. Now, one thing I will say, one thing this does a terrific job of is when you have parts that there's internal areas you can't reach. For example, little crevices and cracks, it does a really good job getting into there. When you can't, it does a very good job with screws and bolts. In between the threads, it does a good job of cleaning them out. Old Phillips head screws where the eye is just completely filled with junk, you know, it does a great job with them, you know, cleaning them out. But like I said, a lot of the stuff is very kind of finicky, and it's got to be super loose, you know, or grease. It does a great job of grease. Put grease on something, put it in here, and it just whoop right off. So I don't know, take it or leave it, guys. I mean, I got one, I'm playing with it. It's been a couple of months, but like I said, it's a huge pain in the balls, but not always worth it. But it's a cool thing, but just not $80 cool.